Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA from the Black Boule in this action-packed all-new John Haynes series adventure. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side at Amazon.com and other online booksellers. A 27-year-old man wound up taking his own life after a woman who was working at the Bikini Beans coffee shop exposed him for not wearing pants as he was driving through the Bikini Beans drive-thru. Now, in this disturbing alleged incident, 27-year-old Nautica Malone decided to place an order at the Bikini Beans coffee shop, and as he was placing this order at the Bikini Beans coffee shop, he was not wearing pants at all. Moreover, as he was approaching the drive-thru window, he had basically exposed himself and was caught masturbating as he approached the drive-thru, where the staff member had their cell phone out and recorded this disturbing incident. And as she was recording this disturbing incident, she basically told him to leave, and he drove off scurrying away. And after he drove away, this video basically went viral all over social media. And as it went viral all over social media, this 27-year-old man, who was Nautica Malone, a father and a husband, wound up taking his own life, and took his own life because he was possibly embarrassed about being exposed for exposing himself. Now, the police in Arizona see this possibly as an isolated incident, but when I take a critical examination of the alleged behavior Nautica Malone is alleged to have participated in, it definitely fits the pattern and profile for beta males that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis. And the behavior that Nautica Malone was allegedly shown on video participating in definitely fits the chapter that I talk about regarding the sexual frustration of the beta male and the chapter of the sexual deviancy of the beta male. And what most people don't know about beta males is that beta males have a very hard time being able to deal with sex and sexuality, and because they don't know how to understand how to express themselves sexually in a appropriate way, what they do is go out here and enter a place I call the secret world in order to express their natural masculinity and their natural sexuality. And as a result of them entering the secret world, many of these beta males live in two worlds. They live in a smooth world, which is everything is perfect, where they're, again, good quality married men who are out here taking care of their homes and their families, but they also live in a secret world where they believe they can have their power as a man. And it's that whole secret world that gets these men into trouble, because a lot of the ideas they learn in the secret world are perverted and twisted. Now, when it comes to Nautica Malone, he definitely fits this whole pattern I have been seeing regarding individuals who have an issue with their natural sexuality, and what they do, because they basically feel ashamed of their natural sexuality, is enter a place I call the secret world. And in that secret world, they enter a rose-colored reality, where they can have all the power that they want as a man. And in that world, they feel like they can naturally express themselves sexually in a way that they can get power over people. And in the case of Nautica Malone, he possibly, after he wound up getting married and having a child, basically felt powerless as related to expressing himself sexually. And as he felt powerless about expressing himself sexually, what he did was enter the secret world and hope to be able to get his power by participating in this behavior of again, exposing himself I believe what happened here with this guy Nautica Malone is he possibly was one of these guys who went to places like this Bikini Beans coffee shop, which is a coffee shop that is filled with women who are wearing bikinis as they serve coffee. And as he was there, he was basically enjoying his fantasies of being around these women. And as he was out here, he looked to escalate his behavior to go from, again, looking at these women who he did not see as people who were working at this bar, coffee shop. He basically saw them as objects in his fantasy, and his fantasy was not about getting the pleasure of seeing these attractive women. His fantasy was about humiliating these women by participating in this indecent exposure of himself, humiliating that woman by going out here and shocking her by letting her see his genitals. And that's what he was doing when he went to the Bikini Beans coffee shop. He basically approached the drive-thru, looked to put in an order, and as he looked to again pick up this order, he thought he was going to humiliate this woman by exposing himself and giving her the shock of his life. But what happened to this guy Nautica Malone was that he got the shock of his life when that woman whipped out a cell phone camera. And as she whipped out the cell phone camera, she basically exposed not just him with his pants down, but exposed him as a pervert and a sexual deviant. And as this video went viral, this basically wound up shattering the smooth world that Nautica Malone was having. And as it shattered his smooth world, and his world started to get rough, this is where I believe Nautica Malone possibly wound up panicking. And as he wound up panicking, what happened with Nautica Malone is that he possibly panicked and feared that the police would come and arrest him possibly. And this is what I believe led to him taking his own life. He wound up, I believe, taking his own life because he feared, again, his whole world being exposed. He feared that his smooth world was basically going to be destroyed as his wife found out that he was a pervert who was out here looking to participate in deviant acts of sexual assault. Because what happened here in that drive-thru was not just an indecent exposure, but a sexual assault. And this guy thought, oh, he could just go through the drive-thru, be anonymous, and get away with this sex crime. That's what this guy Nautica Malone was thinking as related to this sex crime. He thought he was going to be able to, again, humiliate this woman. But the great tragedy here, as related to things, was he did not, he wound up humiliating himself. And as he was humiliated, he wound up so embarrassed, he couldn't live with this whole situation where he wanted to, again, go out here and destroy a woman's whole day. And sadly, what happened was he got so ashamed that he wound up taking his own life. But what happened here with Nautica Malone is something that happens with, again, many beta males who have no real understanding of how to express themselves in a healthy way sexually, because any healthy man understands there is an appropriate place for enjoying sexual pleasure, and the place that you enjoy sexual pleasure is in the intimacy of your own home with your wife. And that's the place where you go out here and remain intimate with your wife, who is your sexual partner. That is the healthy way to do things, but these guys are not healthy as related to a healthy understanding of sex and sexuality. No, when it comes to the beta male basically has a foundation in a sexual miseducation from Madison Avenue advertisers, Hollywood movie studios, the adult film industry, and in those images that they imbibe, they see fantasies, and as they see fantasies that are regarding women, they basically want to, again, not see a woman as a person, but as an object. And as they see that woman as an object, they see her as somebody they can get power over, and look to get power by, again, doing things to humiliate that woman. That's what many beta males want to do, because many beta males have issues as related to their mothers. A lot of beta males have issues as related to their mothers and feel powerless about being a man, because the women in their lives have all the power. And because all the women in their lives have the power, they want to have that power, and they want to take that power as a man, and again, take that power to, again, dominate or subjugate a woman. And because these guys feel like they cannot physically dominate a woman in some cases as related to things, what they look to do is psychologically, again, get that dominance by humiliating a woman. And that's basically what Nautica Malone was looking to do here. He was looking to, again, humiliate this woman, take away her power and her agency as related to doing her job. And that's what he wanted to do here as related to this job, to this woman who was just working her shift at the Bikini Beans bar. Again, a lot of people would sit there and say, oh, this Bikini Beans bar possibly has some culpability, but no, not at all. I mean, it's just like working at Hooters. I mean, the staff there are just looking to serve the products that are at the restaurant. They're just looking to do their job. Yes, they may be dressed a certain way, but that does not give any of the customers a right to go out here and participate in a sex crime against them. Because that's what was happening here with this guy who, again, exposed himself. He exposed himself to, again, participate in an assault on this woman, because an assault is the threat as related to things. And that's what he was doing with this indecent exposure. What he was doing with this indecent exposure was looking to assault this woman with his penis and use it as a weapon. Use it as a weapon to basically intimidate and humiliate this woman. That's what he was doing here, because he was perverting himself sexually. This is what this man was. He was a pervert and a sexual deviant, because, again, a healthy man understands there's an appropriate place to be able to enjoy sexual pleasure with your partner, and it's not appropriate to go and, again, accost people with your genitals. Again, this man was participating in a sex crime, and again, he was scared to death of being locked up in prison, where he would possibly go from having a wife that he would be able to have relations with to being forced to have relations with Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles, as they traded him for Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, packets of Crystal Light lemonade, packets of Crystal Light tea, Taster's Choice coffee, off-brand lemon lime drink, off-brand grape drink, off-brand fruit punch, off-brand apple juice, off-brand Oreo cookies, off-brand duplex cookies, off-brand vanilla wafers, off-brand ginger snaps, off-brand sugar wafers, packets of Velveeta cheese, on snack pack puddings, prison chips, all Keef coffee. I mean, he's afraid of, again, he was afraid of being turned out by Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles, and being spit roasted and given an indecent exposure by the indecent actions of those individuals, as they basically spit roasted him, and then Mr. Sprinkles coming in and spraying the front side and the back side with special sauce, and calling all the guys of Cell Block D to come in and check out his handiwork as he splits the cheeks open and shows this guy's backside looking like the inside of a Louisiana crunch cake. That's what this guy feared, and this is why he would rather take a trip to the Shadow Realm rather than go to prison. And that's what led to this man, again, taking that trip to the Shadow Realm by taking his own life. And in the aftermath of this whole situation, you have Nautica Malone's mother saying that she wants to hold the woman who filmed the incident liable and make her responsible. No, you can't make this woman liable or responsible for anything, because this man was shown on camera participating in a sex crime of indecent exposure and a sexual assault. And this is where the mother basically shows me that she basically raised her son to be dysfunctional because this boy was not prepared for manhood to be able to control himself sexually or have a good understanding of expressing yourself in a healthy fashion as related to your sexuality. This is where the mother shows me she did not do her job, and now she wants to again hold this woman responsible for going out here and again recording individuals because possibly there was a problem with perverts at this Bikini Beans coffee shop, again not knowing what the boundary is. Yes, there are attractive women in bikinis possibly at this coffee shop, but the whole thing is a man understands he needs to respect those women because they're doing a job where, yes, they're serving the coffee, and yeah, you get a good look at a woman, but you do not have a right to abuse those women by going out here and again exposing yourself to them. No, that's antisocial behavior, and it's antisocial behavior because it just shows that this man has no respect for a boundary as related to, again, a business relationship, because you are in this business to get this coffee, and has no respect for, again, boundaries as related to, again, things, and again, knows what he's doing is wrong, but wanted to do this in secret, thought he could get away with it, but he didn't get away with it. And the sad part is a lot of people, again, don't see how this man was, again, a very sick man, on a road to escalating his behavior. Again, he's gone from going to the bar and looking at the women to going to look to participate in sex crimes. This is not like a simp who wants to go out here and again ask for a phone number or hit on a chick. No, this is a guy who was looking to participate in a sex crime and looking to participate in a sex crime to do harm to a woman. And again, these guys will go from, again, looking at women in their and having fantasies about them to going into the secret world where they go out here and come up with plans to, again, participate in things like indecent exposures. And those indecent exposures eventually will turn into these guys participating in escalating their sex crimes to possible, again, going beyond sexual assaults, because that's what this guy was doing, was a sexual assault, and escalate this to participating in the rape of a woman, or start heading down the road to becoming a serial murderer. These guys have a pattern for their behavior, a very dangerous pattern. And the whole thing is, if they, as they're out here escalating their behavior, what's really scary is most people don't know that these guys are out here because they're living a secret life. And oftentimes when their secret life gets exposed, we see the monster that's out here that's pretending to be a man. But this is a man in crisis, and one of the most dangerous ones that I've studied, because the males who participate in sex crimes, again, these guys, again, they are very quiet and they're very dangerous. And again, very dangerous because they will escalate their behavior to extremes as related to things. And if they're not nipped in the bud, they can go on to, again, participate in some of the most heinous crimes that are out there, like serial killing and serial raping. And this guy, basically, he wound up self-destructing before he could get arrested. And the whole thing is that this type of man is one of the most dangerous ones out here, and you need to learn how to identify this type of behavior, because this type of man who is in crisis will make your life a crisis by the depraved behavior they participate in. Now, if you want to learn how to identify the behavior of this type of sexual predator, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com, and that book will show you how to identify the pattern and profile of behavior of these kind of guys so that you can keep yourself safe and avoid being targeted by these type of individuals, or be able to shut these type of individuals down as related to their behavior. And if you want to see me make more videos talking about the man crisis, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.